All right, what's going on, dudes, and welcome to the second half of the new Snapshot overview. This time, as I'd mentioned, we'll be going over everything other than the changes to terrain generation. So we'll start off with all the new flowers that have been added, which you probably got a bit of a sneak peek of as I was flying over the Sunflower Plains biome, among some of the others. And there are a lot of new flowers, but we've lost one. So before we begin, a moment of silence for the red rose, which is no longer with us. It will be sorely missed. It's been a long time, dear friend, but it's in a better place now. Good night, sweet prince and or princess, whichever gender you are. So the dandelion is still with us. That hasn't been replaced, but the red rose, it's no longer here, as you can no doubt notice. There is a rose bush, that's new, but the regular old red rose, that's not this. This is actually a poppy. So this is the first of the new flowers I have laid out. So this is a poppy. This is an orchid, allium, azure bluette, however you pronounce it, red tulip, orange tulip, white tulip, pink tulip, oxeye daisy, lilac, double tall grass, large fern, rose bush, and peony. And last but not least, the sunflower. But again, farewell, red rose. You will be missed. Dandelion again is with us. I just didn't put it on display because it's not a new one. It's an old timer. Another thing to keep in mind is that you can actually grow regular old tall grass into double tall grass now by clicking on it with bone meal, and you can also harvest the double tall grass with shears and so on and so forth. Another thing to mention about the new flowers is that you can actually use them in order to obtain dyes that you would have to obtain previously with other methods. So if we go ahead and throw some of these in the workbench, the allium will get us magenta, the poppy will get us some rose red. You imposter! You're not a rose! Oh my goodness, what an imposter. Poppy giving us rose red, that was the rose's job. Anyway, blue orchid will give us light blue dye, lilac will give us magenta again, and sunflower will give us dandelion yellow. So yeah, just some more dyes that you can obtain using the new flowers. All right, so another change is with sugarcane. So you'll notice that it seems like there's a lighting mishap on this sugarcane. There's actually not. So sugarcane actually now gets different shades with biomes, just like grass does. So the darker sugarcane here signifies that we're in a desert biome, where if we went into a forest, it would probably have more lush green regular old sugarcane color. Next up, we have the packed ice versus regular ice, which I kind of showed in the biome overview anyway, but just a closer look at that. Again, packed ice has no transparency, and regular ice is regular ice. This is the Podzol, which again you got to look at in the redwood forest, but just again a closer look. This cannot be overgrown by grass. And there's also another dirt block I think you can give yourself using the /give command, but it's not in the creative menu anywhere. It's just a dirt block that cannot be overgrown by grass either. So just a couple ways to have your dirt stay out and not get grassy, in case you prefer the rough, raw look of just regular old dirt. So, all right, finally, fishing. Fishing has had a pretty major overhaul. So we'll start off by just, doing some regular fishing, and then we'll move on to some of the changes. I don't know, maybe I'll get lucky enough to fish out one of the new fishes. We'll see. So I've never been a huge fan of fishing, but I guess that's a pretty common sentiment among many other players. Anyway, you'll notice, if we look closely, there's I just fished a name tag out of the water. So, a couple things to go over. I don't know if you saw the splash particles, but now when a fish is approaching your reel, it'll actually have these like splash particles that start going about, and they'll get more dense, and then they'll pull down, and then you're like, oh man, it's a fish, it's crazy, but it's maybe not a fish, it's maybe just a name tag that was swimming around, and then it pulled down on my lure. So, there are like tons of new items that you can get when fishing. There are treasure items, there are fish, there are new types of fish, which I'll get to in just a second, and then there are junk items. So you could get any of them. So I would assume that a name tag would be a treasure item, because name tags are actually pretty difficult to come by and they're kind of useful. So I just fished a treasure out of the water. If we fish again and try to keep an eye out for the splashes, see if you can see them sort of approaching. Hopefully it'll happen soon. But you can, I mean, there we go. And that was actually just a regular little fish. Come on, give me something new. Why are you floating above the water? That's not how you're supposed to work. Hopefully we can get a new fish. Be on the lookout for the splash particles. Be on the lookout. Try to get a better vantage point so you can see. Contrast, boom. There we go. There's a new fish. So this is raw salmon. And there are a couple other variations. You can catch clownfish, and you can also catch pufferfish. And then there is just a laundry list of different junk items and treasure items that you can also pull out, the name tag being, I would assume, one of the treasure items. Then you can get like broken boots or leather or something like that as part of the junk items. So the salmon can be cooked into cooked salmon. The fish it will remain fish. Clownfish is clownfish. And then you can also get pufferfish, which, well, if you're familiar with actual pufferfish, it can kind of be poisonous if not prepared right. So actually, let's go time set day again. Let me set myself into survival mode, and I'll go ahead and eat one of said pufferfish, although I am not hungry enough, so I'm going to do some jumping jacks. And while I'm doing jumping jacks, I'll go over the next thing, and then hopefully by the time I'm done, I will have grown hungry enough to eat a pufferfish. So there are a couple of new enchantments that you can put on your fishing reels, actually, or your fishing rod. Actually, you can fish fishing rods out of the water, interestingly enough, that have these enchantments. But we've got Lure 2 or Lure 3 and Luck of the Sea 2. I don't know exactly what the difference between them is, but we can go ahead and actually we have to switch back into creative mode. / game mode. I probably should have done this before switching into survival. So go ahead and give ourselves Luck of the Sea. And then we'll go ahead and give ourselves the Lure 3 as well. And this should give us a friggin' superb fishing rod status. So now we'll switch back into creative, or survival, my bad. Do some jumping jacks as we fish. And hopefully we'll get some pretty cool items. And hopefully I will notice when the lure is being bitten on. Come on. I'm supposed to be super lucky here. It seems like I'm more lucky when I'm actually closer to the bobber, which is interesting. I don't know if that's actually a thing. But, yeah, why? Yeah, that's weird. It was actually going a lot quicker when I was closer. Maybe it's because there we go. Yeah, for whatever reason, when I get closer to the bobber, it I get luckier. Well, I don't know if that's pure coincidence or what. But, I don't know. Be on the lookout for the particles. Give me something lucky. Give me something lucky. You can do it. You can do it. I also want to get hungry so I can eat a pufferfish. Here we go. Come on. Come on. No, maybe it was totally just coincidental that when I got closer to the lure, it was giving me... and boom. All right. Well, so far, Luck of the Sea and Lure 3 don't seem to be helping us too much on our luck, but they are enchantments nonetheless. So, last but not least, I'm going to keep jumping, and, well, we'll use the first pufferfish that I have here in order to show you one of the new potions that you can actually make with the pufferfish. So, if I throw the pufferfish in here, and I've got a bunch of awkward potions, it'll start brewing, and it'll give us a new type of potion, which is a potion of water breathing, which is actually pretty freaking cool. So you can actually breathe in water after you drink it. So you can go swimming for up to 8 minutes, I think, if you get the tier 2 potion of water breathing. I think to start off, yeah, it's a 3-minute one, but then you can also go up to a solid 8 minutes if you choose to. So if I dunk my head underwater here, you'll notice that my bubbles don't go down. I'm good to go. I am totally good to go. Don't have to worry about anything until my potion runs out. All right. Well, I think I'm just going to sprint and jump a whole bunch in the hopes of reducing my health, and I'll cut to finally when I can ingest the pufferfish and, you know, just have a great time. So, yeah, let's do that. All right, so literally like 2 seconds after I cut that recording, it lowered my health, so I didn't even need to do that cut. Anyway, let's ingest a pufferfish and enjoy all that has to come with it. So now I have hunger 3, poison 4, nausea 2. Just don't ingest it. Don't ingest pufferfish. It's bad news. It's really bad news. You're gonna go down to half a heart like immediately, and then you're just not gonna have a fun time. So if you feel like ingesting a pufferfish, then bring some milk along. I wasn't smart enough to do that, so I'm gonna have to suffer on have a heart and be very careful for a while. But fortunately, we just about reached the end of the video. Well, actually, no, we haven't. There's totally one more thing that I wanted to show you, and I'm going to switch back into creative mode for it, because otherwise I will die. Slash game mode, creative. So one more super cool thing. Here we go. I think I have this handy on my copy paste. Boom, it's the summon command. So the way the summon command works is you can summon a given mob, but you can do more than that. So basically the format is summon the mob you want, and then the tildes right there, those are for coordinates, but if you just want it to spawn in front of you, just leave them blank like that, just the 3 tildes, like so, with spaces in between. But then you can do something really cool, which is add a riding flag over here, and if you do the riding flag, you'll notice that this whole command will spell out summon a skeleton, riding a spider, so essentially a spider jockey. Boom. Except that the skeleton doesn't have a bow. Don't know why that is. Probably a different code for skeleton with a bow. Either way, it's a harmless skeleton. You can summon a harmless spider jockey, though not entirely harmless because the spiders can hurt you. But you get the idea. Yeah, he's gonna die because he's on fire. But that's that. So let's see. We can do another combination. So I don't know. Let's do a ghast jockey. Why don't we do that? Summon ghast riding spider. Let's. Yay! It's a ghaster jockey. You can't even see the spider. What about would a witch? Is witch just witch? Hold on. Summon witch riding bat, because I think we've done that in the past, but we had to use the filter for it in MC Edit. So summon witch riding bat. Let's see. Does that work? Yes. Yes. So this is good. This is awesome. You can actually do you can spawn things riding other things without having to do like an MC Edit NBT tag filter thingamadoohickey. So see you later, witch. It's been fun knowing you. Anyway, now that just about spells the end of the video. In case you hadn't noticed, there's also a new particle effect for falling. But you probably saw it like throughout the video and in the biome video as well. As you get higher, it'll become like more explosive and stuff. Woo! So yeah, that's that. Thanks for watching, dudes. Hope you've enjoyed. If you have, a rating would be much appreciated. Other than that, if you missed part 1, you can go ahead and check that out. It'll give some context to why I'm in a rainbowy hardened clay biome. And that's that. I'll see you next time. Oh, I totally almost forgot. Some new menu options. So if we go into music and sounds, you'll notice now there's a whole bunch of different sort of subcategories. So even if you want your sound to be quiet, like for me, for example, when I'm recording, I want most of the sounds to be quiet, but now it's actually super convenient. I can turn up like note blocks, because note blocks you oftentimes want to have loud, but the other stuff like monsters and whatnot and ghasts, you don't want to be super loud, so you can sort of fine tune everything. So that's super convenient. And perhaps the most convenient thing of all is the control menu has been just totally revamped. And now if I can find Sprint now has its own button. Oh man, it's built in by default. It's built in by default. Oh my goodness. Double tap still works, but you can bind Sprint. Oh, it's just savior. The most important of all. By the way, super secret settings, you're probably wondering, doesn't do anything. Yeah, can't click on it for now. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks for watching, dudes, and I'll see you next time.
Cool.